Hi, Gloria Brooks here with Nature Glow's eScience. Typically, I address math and science, but being that my online courses are unit study style, I wanted to talk about Native American history today. Um, Oddly enough, I don't have a lot of experience teaching Native American history in my education experience over the last 24 years. However, in latter years, I have been drawn to including Native American nature-based stories. Well, most of their stories are nature-based, but including scouring the internet for some really great stories. Like I teach a course. I teach a botany course. It's on trees. The whole course is just about different tree species around the world. And I include a story called Grandmother Cedar. I even forget, like, it's been so many years since I taught that course, but and I started peppering in different Native American stories. And I want to do it even more now because, gosh, I just recently found out one of my most, and I'm not going to name names here or give hints as to who they are or where they are, but I just learned that one of my most influential mentors is Native American, and it just blows me away. I just was so excited that my life course has been strongly influenced by a Native American. That is so cool. How cool is that? I'm just so honored. And if you're watching, rock on, you're the best. But yeah, so why am I bringing this up? Because the whole spirit behind what I'm teaching is to get us as a nation back to nature. We need to live in harmony with the earth, starting with starting with the education system, which is so off kilter. And, as awful as the pandemic has been, it has been a blessing in disguise because it has brought children home to be with their parents so that they can discover the wonders and glories of taking hold of your education, of you and your child grabbing a hold of the reins of your education and getting back to nature, reconnecting with the earth, which is what the earth desperately needs right now. No matter what your faith or non-faith belief is, we are connected to the earth. We get our food, we get our shelter, we get our water, and our current society is in disharmony with the earth. No one can argue that. Okay? So we need the pandemic has been like a wake-up call to, get us in tune, in alignment. And a lot of people are at home. You're having time to think. My greatest encouragement is, look at the Native American history and look at Smithsonian. Smithsonian has some really eye-opening information about Native American history. So I would invite you to start there if you're going to do a Native American homeschool study. So start there, get the facts, and be mindful, and be really, truly respectful. These are the original people of this land, and they knew how to live in harmony with the earth, which is what clearly our current society is destroying. It's just obvious. Okay? So pretty soon I'm going to be reopening the doors to my math art online course. The gateway is going to be a new guide that I have written, boiling down 5 secrets to math learning using real life connection. And I think you're going to absolutely love it. So keep an eye out on my channel, and I will let you know when that is released. And yeah. Okay, so grab my unit study, use that for your Native American studies. You can just plug in information, start with Smithsonian, make sure that you're getting, original facts, not the watered down American version of Native American history. It's pretty intense, really. So know it, respect it, and teach it to your kids. Live in harmony with the earth. Start growing gardens. Learn what you can online about building fires and learning what the wild edibles are in your area. And take your shoes and socks off and connect with the earth. I know that's a Native American basic principle, is letting your bare skin touch the earth. That's why they wore moccasins. They wear moccasins. They still do. And I'm just a babe in the woods. Like, I need to be educated about, the true. I've only done a little bit of study as of late, and I've peppered in Native American story. Oh, quick story before I sign off here. That was how I lost my last private school. I'm not going to name the faith. Not going to do that because that's not what this channel's about. But that was the start of how I lost my last job, is I started bringing in Native American teachings into the school. I learned it from, gosh, I'm digging up so much from my past now. I learned it from the Wilderness Awareness School, who has a lot of mindful teachings using Native American ancient wisdom. They call it indigenous wisdom. I wanted to actually go to their school. It's called the Anaki School. But I did their Kamana 1 and 2 program, which gets you outside to a sit spot. And you sit outside and you learn to open your wide angle vision. They call it owl vision. You learn to listen with your ears, called deer ears, smell like a dog nose. And I did that program for close to 2 years. So I was still teaching in private school when I joined that program, and I started introducing Native American teaching. I had the kids pray, and I invited them to pray to God, and also to thank the animals and the plants, and to do a journal about it. Well, one of the students, bless them, told the principal, and this was a small school for alternative education kids. They had special needs. It was a special needs school. It was like 6 kids at the time. It was a really tiny school. This was back in 2010. So one of my students told the principal, and my principal called me into his office, and he said, "I heard that you're teaching Native American philosophy in class." And I said, "Yes." And he just laid into me. He screamed me up and down and left me like in a pool of tears. And he said, "I don't want you ever doing that again. This is a blah, blah, blah faith school." And that was the beginning of the end for me. Yeah. So we've got a lot of work to do in this country, starting with our education system. So I hope you're with me on this. Throw down some comments, share your thoughts. Let's just live in harmony with the earth, and let's use the indigenous wisdom that's already here and tap into that mindfully, respectfully, honorably. Thank you for watching. Grab my free unit study planner. Dive into your Native American study. Hook in your math, your literature, art. Oh, God, they've got amazing art, their jewelry. And hit subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. Throw down your comments. What are your thoughts about this today? Love to hear from you. Thanks for